India has already launched a central bank digital currency pilot program, as has China, United Arab Emirates and the Bahamas, among other countries. Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Philip Lowe, to his credit, says the benefits of a CBDC here are limited given the speed and efficiency of our current bank transfer system, which is also free. Quote, "We don't think the public case is there," he told the Financial Review's Business Summit last month. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. Last month, the Reserve Bank itself announced a pilot program with partners from the finance industry would begin in the next few months. "We are delighted with the enthusiastic engagement by industry in this important research project," said Assistant Governor Brad Jones. Of course he is. But are you? Were you even asked if you think this is a good idea? No. The elites simply decided it's good for us. Which brings us back to Chalmers' essay. Quote, "In 2023, we will create a new sustainable finance architecture, including a new taxonomy to label the climate impact," let me say that again, the climate impact of different investments. That will help investors align their choices with climate targets, help businesses who want to support the transition get finance more easily, and ensure regulators can stamp out greenwashing. This strategy begins with climate finance, but over time, I see it expanding to incorporate nature-related risks and biodiversity goals." Unquote. Well, what are climate targets, biodiversity goals, and nature-related risks? I'm guessing you, like me, have only a vague understanding of them and don't care much about them anyway. There are more important things to worry about, like paying the mortgage, getting the kids through school and keeping the car on the road. As I said, Chalmers' essay and his announcements this week have little in common with the values and principles that built Australia. There's a good chance this is not going to end well. Well, to talk about this, we have a new guest, PJ Cameron, whose uncle, Ross, was a minister in John Howard's government in the 1990s and whose grandfather, Jim, was the Liberal Speaker of the New South Wales Legislative Assembly in the 1970s. He's now raising a family in Launceston, Tasmania, and works as a financial advisor. PJ, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Fred.
First, PJ, you're in your early 30s. You're a bit of an exception to your generation when it comes to environmentalism. Do you think the fear of the earth overheating is exaggerated?
I think, I've got a background in finance and probably more politics, but it's hard to know. But certainly the language is, it's hard to, I suppose, discuss, debate, get a clear sense of. And I think increasingly that topic, you've either got one view on it or you're kind of excluded from the conversation. So I think, I would be sympathetic to that scepticism, definitely.
Yeah. Well, do you think climate change should be a factor in fiscal or monetary policy then?
Yeah. Look, I think even just touching back on your review of the Treasurer's article in the Monthly, I think, there's a real broadening out of the scope of government fiscal policy in the way that they're talking and thinking about it. I think definitely as a country we need to be aware of and considerate of sustainable practices and industry and how we do things and the impact that has. But I think, if you consider the language of his message is very strong on values, and I think he correctly identifies a lot of the crises that we're facing in terms of inflation, cost of living, labour shortages and skill shortages. But I think some of the prescriptions that he puts forward are left field and they don't follow from his actual diagnosis of the problems that we face. So one of the first things that he says is to speed up the pathway towards the green economy.